Ever imagined flying in a plane without a pilot? Sounds wild, right? Could this be the future of air travel? How does Wisk's cutting-edge tech stack up against traditional aircraft? Stick with us as we explore how Wisk's autonomous planes could totally change the way we think about flying. Welcome to the future of aviation. Let's get started. So, picture this. A super cool aircraft that flies all by itself. No pilot needed. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, Wisk Aero's 6th generation eVTOL is making that a reality. This thing has a wingspan of 50 feet and runs on a pretty slick system with 12 rotors. It can cruise up to 90 miles on a single charge and hit speeds of 138 miles per hour. Now, that's what I call getting around fast. Brian Utko, the company's CEO, is pretty excited about what they're working on. He said, "We're right now testing and building parts of this aircraft, and we're hoping to have it flying by the end of this year." They're looking to have the first full-size model ready to go soon, with plans to start offering rides by 2030. What's cool about this company, compared to others like Joby Aviation and Archer Aviation, is that they're all in on making these things fully autonomous, no pilot at all. While other companies are still sticking with piloted versions, Wisk is betting on smart software and people on the ground keeping an eye on things. It's kind of like sending your car to do the grocery shopping while you chill on the couch. Awesome, right? Their tech is packed with advanced sensors and AI that help the aircraft make decisions in real time. Plus, it's got backup systems for safety, so if anything goes wrong, there's always a backup plan. That's super important for getting the thumbs up from regulators and making sure people feel safe flying in one. When it comes to flying, safety is the big deal. Nobody wants their flight to feel like a scene from a thriller movie. Sure, the idea of hopping into a pilotless aircraft might make some folks nervous, but Wisk Aero is all about safety, making sure it's baked into every part of their design. They've got these safety management systems in place that catch and fix issues before they even become a thing. The company's tech doesn't just rely on itself, though. There's human oversight involved too, which adds an extra layer of safety. Ground operators are always on hand, keeping an eye on the aircraft in real time, ready to jump in if needed. It's kind of like how drones are flown today, where someone's watching from a distance. Think of it as playing a video game, but with higher stakes. Flying has already gotten a lot safer over the years, thanks to autopilot systems and advanced navigation tech. Wisk wants to take this even further by using top-notch software to make sure their autonomous electric aircraft get the green light from regulators. With the right tech and people keeping watch, flying without a pilot can be just as safe, if not safer, than the usual way. Plus, they're not doing this alone. They're teaming up with the big guns like the FAA and NASA to fine-tune their safety standards. This teamwork is key to making sure they hit all the top safety marks, where flying isn't just something for the rich and famous, but something everyone can do. Wisk Aero's eVTOL tech could make that happen by slashing travel costs. One big way they're doing this? No pilot needed. Traditional flying racks up costs for things like pilot salaries, training, and certifications. By ditching the pilot, Wisk can pass those savings right onto you. Another big win is how efficient these flights are. Their aircraft are perfect for short city trips, usually around 15 minutes long. This focus on quick urban travel means the aircraft can make more trips, which means more money in the bank. With space for up to 4 passengers, the company's eVTOL could become the go-to for quick urban hops, like an Uber, but in the sky. As cities keep getting more crowded, the need for smart transportation is only going up. A report by Morgan Stanley says the eVTOL market could hit $1.5 trillion by 2040. If Wisk can carve out a piece of this pie, they could be leading the charge. And let's not forget about the cost of running these things. Electric aircraft are way cheaper to operate than traditional fuel-guzzling planes. Electric motors need less maintenance and have fewer moving parts, which saves a ton of money over time. The company reckons that flying their eVTOL could cost as little as $1.50 per passenger mile, compared to around $4 for a regular helicopter ride. This could totally shake up short-distance air travel, making it a real alternative to taxis and ride shares. Sustainability is the name of the game these days, and Wisk Aero is all in. Regular airplanes contribute a lot to carbon emissions, but their electric aircraft are here to change that. Their eVTOL tech is built to produce zero emissions during flight, making it a much cleaner option. The International Air Transport Association mentions that aviation is responsible for around 2 to 3% of global carbon emissions. Switching to electric aircraft like Wisk's could bring that number down, giving our planet a well-deserved breather. The company's aircraft could also help ease city traffic, another big environmental issue. With a new way to travel, people might rely less on cars, which means fewer traffic jams and less pollution from idling engines. And while the company is focusing on electric power right now, the future could bring even more eco-friendly options like hydrogen-powered aircraft. Companies like ZeroAvia are already exploring hydrogen fuel cells, and who knows, Wisk might jump on that train or plane soon. They're just thinking about what happens in the sky. They're also committed to sustainable practices on the ground. They're looking into ways to cut down on waste and energy use in their manufacturing process. This all-around commitment to sustainability isn't just good for the planet, it's also great for attracting customers who care about the environment. Wisk Aero has big plans, but they've got a few bumps in the road to navigate. First up, getting regulatory approval. The Federal Aviation Administration has some pretty strict rules, and they will need to pass a lot of tests to get the green light for fully autonomous flights. It's a bit like trying to get a stubborn cat to take a bath. Challenging, but not impossible. Then there's the challenge of convincing the public. Let's face it, the idea of hopping into a pilotless aircraft might freak some people out. Wisk needs to engage with communities and explain how safe and awesome their tech is. It's a bit like what the self-driving car industry, with companies like Tesla and Waymo, has gone through, working hard to build trust. Thanks to movies like I, Robot and Minority Report, many people imagine autonomous tech as a bit risky. The company has to tackle these fears by showing that their aircraft are reliable and safe. On top of that, Wisk has to iron out some technical wrinkles. Full autonomy is still a work in progress, and they need to ensure their systems can handle everything from bad weather to unexpected obstacles. Continuous testing and tweaking are essential to make sure everything's running smoothly. Wisk Aero isn't the only one aiming for the skies. Companies like Joby Aviation and Archer Aviation are also diving into eVTOL tech. But Wisk has a unique spin. They're all about fully autonomous flights, while the others are still working on models that need a pilot. The competition? It's fierce, but that's awesome for us. With these companies pushing each other to innovate, we're looking at better options and lower prices down the road. Wisk is also making some pretty smart moves by teaming up with others. For example, they're partnering with Skyports to bring autonomous flights to Australia just in time for the Brisbane 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Working together like this could really boost their services and expand their reach. And there's more. They're exploring partnerships with ride-sharing companies to fit their services into existing transportation networks. Imagine how cool it would be if flying became just as easy as booking an Uber. This could really open up the market for eVTOLs. As the eVTOL scene keeps buzzing, Wisk needs to keep its foot on the gas. They'll have to keep coming up with fresh ideas and tweaking their tech to stay ahead. Could you imagine trusting your life to a pilotless plane? What's your take on the future of air travel? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Discover the exciting future of flying with cutting-edge technology.